You guys wouldn't believe how unusual these animal tongues are. Here are the top 5 most weird animal tongues. Number 5. The tongue of a cheetah is sharp and incredibly unusual. Their tongues are covered in tiny barbs called papillae. Papillae are actually made from keratin, the same substance that makes up human hair and nails. Keratin is also found in the claws of various animals. So essentially, a cheetah has very tiny claws growing all over its tongue. The papillae of a cheetah's tongue help the cheetah to remove every bit of meat from its prey by literally scraping the meat right off the bone. But the benefits of the cheetah's barbed tongue don't stop there. The barbs can also help the cheetah remove feathers and hair from a carcass. And because the cheetah is a predator, the cheetah needs to remain clean and odorless at all times so it can hunt potential prey without being detected. Also, because the cheetah is carnivorous, it can sometimes get blood and meat stuck in its fur. If the cheetah were to leave this food debris and blood on its fur, it would rot and begin to give off an odor. So the papillae on a cheetah's tongue helps the cheetah to fully clean its fur and remove any blood and debris from its coat. That's pretty amazing. Number 4. The alligator snapping turtle is the biggest freshwater turtle in North America and can grow upwards of 2.5 feet long and weigh up to 200 pounds. It's a frightening beast with a hooked beak and sharp, threatening claws. It has a menacing, muscular tail and a strong, powerful jaw. It's a carnivorous monster, feeding off frogs, snakes, and even other turtles. Given the size of this beast, one might expect the alligator snapping turtle to have a large tongue. But surprisingly, the alligator snapping turtle's tongue is extremely tiny in comparison to the rest of its body. A look inside its mouth reveals an oddly tiny tongue that literally looks like a small worm. The alligator snapping turtle's tongue is lure-like, and it actually uses its tongue sort of like bait on a fishing hook. When the turtle opens its mouth and wiggles its tiny tongue, nearby fish are fooled into thinking its tongue is a worm. From there, fish and other prey simply swim right into the turtle's mouth. This allows the alligator snapping turtle to live a fairly lazy life. The alligator snapping turtle doesn't have to do a lot of active hunting. Its tongue allows for its leisure to wait for food to come to it. Number 3. The chameleon's tongue is both strange and fast. A chameleon's tongue can whip out of its mouth and hit prey in just 7 milliseconds. And their tongues aren't just fast, they're also very long. A chameleon's tongue can be twice the size of its overall body length. Surprisingly, their tongues are actually hollow, anchored to the back of their mouths by a U-shaped bone called the hyoid bone. On the hyoid bone, there is a tiny spike called a hyoid horn. The tip of their tongues are club-shaped and covered in sticky saliva. Chameleons use the sticky tips of their tongues to catch their prey. The tongues also have reactor muscles. Once their prey is stuck to the tip of their tongue, the reactor muscles help the tongue retreat quickly back into their mouth, offering no chance of escape. They are able to retract so quickly because the muscles can close around the hyoid horn. But their strange and complicated tongues don't stop just there. Chameleons' tongues also have accelerator muscles. These tiny muscles squeeze against the hyoid horn and allows the chameleon to release its tongue at lightning speed. The chameleon's tongue is able to catch and pull its prey that can weigh as much as half its own body weight. But while the chameleon's tongue is known for its accuracy and speed, it does have limits. It cannot catch anything wet or slimy, like a slug for example. Anything too wet or slimy will not adhere to the sticky surface. And up next for number 2, let's take a look at a giraffe's multi-purpose tongue. A giraffe's tongue is both long and colorful, and is one of the strangest in the animal kingdom. Both the length and the color of a giraffe's tongue has a fascinating purpose. A giraffe's tongue can measure up to 20 inches long. They use these oversized tongues to reach their main source of food. Giraffes love to eat the leaves of acacia trees, but the leaves are often surrounded by sharp thorns. So an extra long tongue allows giraffes to reach high up and avoid these thorns. Furthermore, the giraffe's tongue has a very thick outer layer on it, This thick layer protects its tongue should it come in accidental contact with a thorn. If their tongue is cut by a sharp thorn, it is able to heal itself at an incredibly fast rate. You see, a giraffe's tongue is covered in antiseptic, extra thick saliva, which is sort of like a natural first aid kit. Aside from the length of the tongue, giraffes' tongues are also very strangely colored. As you can see, it is blue, purple, and black. These strange colors have hidden benefits. A giraffe's tongue spends a lot of its time out in the sunshine searching for leaves, and so the dark coloring of their tongue actually protects it from getting sunburned. Furthermore, their tongues are also prehensile, which means that they're incredibly agile and easily manipulated. This allows them to grasp leaves with ease. Giraffes' tongues are super strong. In fact, they are the most muscular tongues out of any hooved animal on Earth. And finally, number 1. A snake's tongue is both fascinating and deceptive. While other animals use their tongues to catch prey by stinging, licking, or gathering food, a snake uses its tongue to catch prey in an entirely different way. The tongue hides inside its mouth under a sheath in its lower jaw. In fact, the tongue isn't even visible at all when the snake opens its mouth. When its mouth is closed and it wants to move its tongue, it is able to sneak the small, split end of its tongue out its mouth through something called a rostral groove. The rostral groove allows the snake's tongue to eject, but without even opening its mouth. This may be surprising, but the snake actually uses its tongue in this way to smell. When a snake's tongue is flicked out of the air like this, the tongue is able to collect tiny chemical particles, which it interprets as scent. The snake then retracts its tongue back into its mouth, and its tongue connects to a special organ called a vomeronasal organ. This organ allows the scent data that the tongue has collected to be sent to its brain. From there, it can process the information and decide whether or not to strike potential prey. A snake's tongue has the most highly complex sensory system in the animal kingdom, which is literally built into the tongue itself. Even more amazing, a snake's tongue is forked, which allows it to smell in 2 different directions at once. This allows the snake to collect scent data from a much wider area, so it can triangulate where its prey is. A snake's tongue provides information to the snake about potential prey, predators, and even potential partners. Before we close out today's video, we have an honorable mention that didn't make the list. You may be wondering what the biggest tongue is in the animal kingdom. Look no further than the blue whale. Everything about the blue whale is huge, and its tongue is no exception. The sheer size of a blue whale's tongue is pretty amazing. A blue whale's tongue can weigh up to 2.7 tons. That's even heavier than your family car. But the blue whale's tongue is not just strange for its enormity, it's also strange for its purpose. A blue whale does not use its tongue in the same way that other mammals do, because blue whales need a fairly substantial diet to support their massive size. They need to take in huge amounts of water so they can feed off the tiny krill and small fish that get trapped inside. Blue whales actually use their tongues to push water into their mouths, and from there they keep using their tongues to circulate the water. Inside a whale's mouth, there is something called a baleen. Baleens are made with keratin and are essentially a mesh-like pattern that acts as a filter. These filters help a whale sort the food from the water. Once they have filtered their food from the water, blue whales use their strong and massive tongues once again to push the foodless water back out into the ocean. So a blue whale's tongue is essentially a massive filtration system. That's pretty cool. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Be sure to check out my previous upload on the top 5 most dangerous dams. And in the meantime, subscribe for more.